Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is my second lecture for grade 7 geography. In the previous lecture, we have learned about the interior structure of the earth. And I have told you that the earth has three distinct layers: the crust, the mantle, outer core and inner core. So basically there are three parts: crust, mantle and core, and the core is further divided into inner and outer core. And this division of core is only because of its composition, that the inner core is solid and it is made up of iron, entirely of iron. And the outer core is alloy, which is nickel iron alloy. That's why we have divided the core into inner and outer core. Let's have a quick replay of the previous slides. Crust. The crust is the outermost layer of Earth. The Earth's crust is rigid and is broken into pieces called the crustal plates. There are two types of crustal plates: the continental plates, the oceanic plates. Its thickness varies from 5 to 60 km. I told you that the crust is rigid and it is broken into pieces. And these pieces are called the crustal plates. And I told you that the plates are of two types: the continental plates and the oceanic plates. And the thickness varies from 5 to 60 kilometers. Like the oceanic plates are thin, it can be as thin as 5 kilometers, and the continental plates are thick and they are like from 40 to 60 kilometers thick. About the mantle, I told you that it is found below the crust. So this is the second layer of the mantle, and its thickness is like 2900 kilometer. It consists of a semi-solid rocks. So it is a rocky layer, we can say, and the main thing here is that the convection currents are formed here. So the main thing is the convection currents, and they are formed only because of the heat of the core, because the mantle is right next to the core. So convection currents are formed here, and these convection currents help to move the crustal plates. And for core, I told you that it is the innermost layer of the earth, and it is subdivided into inner and outer core. And the division is only because of its composition. I told you that the outer core is made up of nickel iron alloy, and the thickness is different from the inner core. It is 2250 kilometers. And the inner core is made up of, actually it is made up entirely of iron. That's why it is completely solid, and the thickness is like 1250 kilometer. So the temperature is pretty high. It's like 3700 Celsius at the core. So that was a quick replay of the previous slides, and I have given you an assignment in a previous lecture that was two questions you have to do, and how do scientists gain knowledge about the interior of the earth, and how do we know how hot or cold the interior of the earth is. I have given all two answers, and now we are going to do the third question, which is explain the characteristics of the internal structure of the earth. Also draw a diagram to show all layers of the internal earth. So you have to take out your notebooks, make a margin line, and write your today's date and day, and start with this question. Okay, you have to give the topic. The topic is internal structure of the earth. Is chapter number 1. The topic is internal structure of the earth, and then you have to write this question, explain the characteristics of the internal structure of the earth. Also draw a diagram to show all layers of the internal earth, and then we will start the answer. Okay guys, you must have done with the question, so let's start the answer. For answer, you have to write like the earth has three distinct layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. and the core is further divided into outer and inner core. Or even if you don't want to write about the core here, leave it. But you have to write like the crust has three distinct layers. The earth has three distinct layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. And then you have to give a heading of crust. Okay, give a heading of crust and then write the details. The details are: the crust is the outermost layer of the earth. It varies in thickness from 5 to 60 kilometers. It is thin under the oceans and can be as thin as 5 kilometers. Under the continents, it can be as thick as 40 kilometers. The Earth's crust is rigid and is broken into pieces called plates. There are two types of plates: the continental plate and the oceanic plate. Let me repeat. The crust is the outermost layer of the earth. It varies in thickness from 5 to 60 kilometers. It is thin under the oceans and can be as thin as 5 kilometers. Under the continent, it can be as thick as 40 kilometers. The Earth's crust is rigid and is broken into pieces called plates. There are two types of plate: the continental plate and the oceanic plate. Okay, now give another heading: mantle, and then you have to write its details. So the details are: below the crust is the mantle that is made up of denser rocks. Below the crust is the mantle that is made up of denser rocks. The mantle is about 2,900 kilometers thick. The mantle is about 2,900 kilometers thick. It consists of semi-solid rock. It consists of semi-solid rocks. The earth gets very hot as you get nearer to its core. The earth gets very hot as you get nearer to its core. The mantle is thus heated up as it is right next to the core. The mantle is thus heated up as it is right next to the core. As a result, convection currents are formed in the mantle. As a result, convection currents are formed in the mantle. These currents help to move the plates, the broken pieces of the Earth's crust. These currents help to move the plates, the broken pieces of the Earth's crust. So that was the explanation of the mantle. Okay, now give a heading of a core and then write the details. The core is the innermost layer of the earth. The core is the innermost layer of the earth, and the core is subdivided into inner core and outer core. The core is subdivided into inner core and outer core. Now give another heading, the subheading of a core, that is the outer core, and give its details like it is made up of, or you can say the outer core is made up of extremely dense liquid and is about 2250 kilometers thick. It is made up of nickel iron alloy. Give another heading, another subheading, the inner core. The subheading is the inner core, and the details are the inner core is made up entirely of iron. The inner core is made up entirely of iron. That's why it is completely solid. That's why it is completely solid, and it's about 1250 kilometers thick. And is about 1250 kilometers thick. The temperature is greater than 3700 degrees Celsius at the core. The temperature is greater than 3700 degrees Celsius at the core. So that was your whole answer for question number 3. You have to start like the earth has 3 distinct layers, the crust, the mantle and the core. Then you have to give heading for crust and write the details of the crust. Then give a heading to the mantle and write all the details of the mantle. Then give heading to the core, and the core is subdivided into inner and outer core, and then give the subheadings of outer core with details and then inner core with details. In the end, with the question, you have to draw this diagram. If you want to draw this diagram, you can draw from this slide. And if you want to draw a diagram from your book, so there are 3 diagrams given in your book on page number 2 and 3. You can draw any one. So you have to draw any one diagram either from your book or from this slide. So that was all about your first chapter. Your first chapter is finished now, and we are done with 3 questions, and this was the last question that we are done with here. This is your objective worksheet for chapter number 1. Do these 2 objective questions in your notebook. Use the words in the box to complete the sentence below. The words are earthquakes, core, plates, volcanoes, mantle, crust, boundaries. So this is a kind of reinforcement for you. You have to do both the questions in your notebook and do it by yourself. The outer layer of Earth is called the dash. It is made up of tectonic dash. Just underneath the crust is the dash, and right in the middle of the Earth is the dash. Colliding plates produce dash and dash at the plate dash. These are your blanks. Do it by yourself. And then question number 2 is draw a line to form 6 correct sentences from the fragment below. You have 6 sentences here, so this is a kind of match the 2 columns. The crust, plate boundaries, the core, the mantle, oceanic plate, continental plates. And the options are is made of iron and lies at the center. Is made of iron and lies at the center. Second option is are under the oceans. Are under the ocean. Clearly mentioned here. And the third one is between the crust and the core. So you know the layer between the crust and the core. Pick the answer from the first column. Okay, carry the continents. Carry the continents. Clearly mentioned here, and you can find the answer from the column A. Then is a thin rocky layer at the surface. It's a thin rocky layer at the surface. And the last one are where many earthquakes happen. Are where many earthquakes happen. This is your objective worksheet. Do it in your notebook. This is the third question of your objective. Read the questions below and circle the letter of the correct answer. So there are 5 MCQs. You have multiple choice here. The multiple choice questions are, the first one is, which of the following is not one of the Earth's layer? Which of the following is not one of the Earth's layer? Inner core, crust, outer mantle and lower mantle. Outer mantle and lower mantle. Okay, the second one is starting with the outermost layer. What is the order of the Earth's layer? Like outermost layer, you know, it is the crust. So if you start with the crust, what will be the order? It will be the core mantle crust, or the crust, upper mantle, lower mantle, outer core, inner core, or the mantle, inner crust, core, or the crust, inner core, mantle. So think about it. And the third one is, the core of the earth is made up almost completely of which element? The core of the earth is made up almost completely of which element? So they are actually asking about the inner core, because the inner core is made up of single element, and the single element, that element is here in these 4 options. So you have to pick the right option. Option A is iron, B granite, C sulfur, and D calcium. The fourth one is, which layer of earth is the thickest? So the thickness of all the layers are given in your book. Which layer of the earth is the thickest? And the answer is, like, you have to pick from all 4 options: mantle, core, crust, and all layers are the same thickness. The fifth MCQ is, which of the earth's layer is liquid? You know about the composition of all the layers. Here's the lower crust, outer core, inner core, and mantle. So pick the right answer. And the fourth question of your objective part is, this is very simple, label the layers of the earth, and only the simple layers are given here. You can see the crust, mantle, and core, and there's no division of core is given here, so you have to only write about the core, the mantle, and the crust. So label it, and this is all about your first chapter. Thank you so much, dear students, for watching this video. We will meet again, inshallah, in third lecture, and we'll start the next chapter, chapter number 2, Earth Alive. If you have any queries, please drop your queries in the comment box. I'll entertain all your queries. Thank you so much. We meet again, inshallah. Bye.